Roboteers, stand by.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, how's that for a nice change? Okay, folks, this is it. The big one. The Chaos Crusher. The Nightmare Wrangler. The one to bring light to the dark. Right. The finale to end all finales at the moment. What is it to be? One of Meghan McCarthy's best scripts of all time. I'm, of course, talking about the epic thriller ride that is the season 4 finale, Twilight Kingdom. Really, really great. I managed to survive it. I did not have any complaints against it. It's just that awesome. Why is it so awesome? I have the notes. At first, we once again get pretty much everyone's question of, does Twilight fit in this role? Because she's summoned to the Crystal Empire to just help make the Duke and Duchess of Meritonia's arrival a little more comfortable. And she thinks she's more Smiler and Wave and doesn't seem to think there's much purpose to her being. I think most of us know what you're going through. But how do the other princesses reassure her? With a song, of course. And yeah, it's the first time we get to hear all three of them singing. Oh my God! I'll admit, if you don't see more of that in the next 5 years, the fandom's not going to be happy. But later that night, who else should return after 30 plus years of not being considered for reboots? None other than T-Rex! Oh my God! Only in this generation, correct me if I'm wrong, he has a brother named Scorpion, and they came from a faraway land with intense and stealing magic. However, Scorpion came to appreciate the pony's ways and even befriend a young unicorn wizard, Starter Olivia. So he pleaded to abandon the plan, was refused, alerted the princesses, and returned to his homeland, and T-Rex was present in Tars. But when Cerberus last abandoned the gates, which was 2 seasons ago, T-Rex must have gained enough strength to escape. Quite a leap, Meghan. Quite a leap. So, instead of course, turning towards Twilight and her friends to take care of everything, to actually turn to Discord, of all creatures, to do the job. If you know what I mean.
What?
That should know something interesting. So, of course, Twilight's friends are skeptical about this decision. And surprisingly, as a backup plan, as I like to call it, Discord has bookmarked certain points in the journal that link to the keys that the main 6 have gotten, all except Twilight, of course. But before we get to that, we have to see Discord and T-Rex meet, and they... well, when it appears Discord has managed to get him in clutches, T-Rex makes an offer, and as you might expect, one cliche that this series has been creating is about to be done again. Temptation arises, disconnection reverses, and we go back to where the key thing was left off, where it turns out the objects in question, when they touch the box, are surprisingly turned into the keys. Okay? Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention that. If some pony's life is changed in so many ways by one of the main six, they give one of the main six a gift to thank them, remember them by, or something like that. Anyway, and that, of course, turns into a key. That's interesting. That's very interesting. After that, Twilight is suddenly summoned to the castle on urgent means, is notified of Discord's quote-unquote betrayal, and I say that because some of you probably know what's coming. Anyway, because of that, and the fact that TurboJUK is now stealing other ponies' magic instead of unicorns, because apparently he's power hungry. Isn't that better than wanting money? Anyway, because of all that, a sacrifice is being made, which means they have to give up their magic and put it all into Twilight, and that was the synopsis for the second part, wasn't it?
Whoa.
But here's the catch. She has to keep it a secret from her friends in order to protect them. That's a little weird, especially considering what happens in the end. Did they know at some point she had to turn to her friends? I don't know, but okay, that's balancing. Okay, that's a nitpick that balances the major minor scales, but it's not that big. So, because they all transfer their powers to Twilight, their Peter marks disappear, which wasn't that sort of the thing that TurboJUK was doing? Anyway, that sort of thing happens, and their main stop flowing, all except Cadence, because of course she's not full power or something. I don't know, but that stuff happens. And unlike what I saw in the Tumblr post or something, anyway, Twilight doesn't actually grow in height a bit because I don't know, but all that magic is transferred, and she is finding it a little difficult to control it. And she's running out of time because, of course, TurboJUK can just go after the pony thing had the left. And he reaches the princesses and discovers their magic is gone. Doesn't surprisingly know that there's a fourth until it's, of course, after he imprisons them into Tartarus. Okay, that's a little tense. It turns out he has to discover that via a single window that Discord hasn't modified yet. He's out to Ponyville, but thankfully Twilight, totally willing not to tell her friends about the secret, manages to convince her friends to keep every pony inside. But they themselves are exposed, and they're totally willing to sacrifice their strength in spite of Discord's sudden change of heart, or, well, temporary change of heart, because you know what's coming. And, of course, all the strength has been terminated, especially Discord's, because you know that had to come. And, of course, he gets brokenhearted because TurboJUK is going for himself instead of any other's help, because, of course, he doesn't believe that friendship is magic, which is, of course, the subtitle of the show. So Discord again has the heart to feel his betrayal. If you remember last season, that sort of thing happened again. Anyway, that sort of thing happens, and the climax begins. Not the one from 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden, it goes full-blown Avatar, the last airbender on us, where they Agni Kai, and it's the Golden Oaks Library, among other things, that gets destroyed in the process. Of course, that drives Twilight's rage a lot, and after an explosive battle, they find themselves at a stalemate. And, of course, Twilight has to choose friends over Equestria, and Power Source Sacrifice, and it turns out the medallion that Discord got earlier from T-Rex is the last key. And after all this build-up to that one box from the beginning of the season, we finally get to see the inspiration for the rainbow power toys we were seeing earlier after the season aired, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that sort of thing comes to fruition, and it's friggin' awesome. And then this "Choose the Rainbow T-Rex" as he's blasted back to the Tartarus. Cerberus is back in his position. And in place of the Golden Oaks Library, we actually get Twilight's friggin' castle. Oh my gosh, that is so unbelievable. So, after a full season, plus one episode, plus one movie of Twilight not having a title of such in her princess-ship, all this builds up to the very title that most of us have already established. She is, in fact, the Princess of Friendship.
Thank you! The truth finally comes out!
And how are we supposed to celebrate this gigantic victory? With a song, of course, and cameos from the ponies we've seen earlier in the season. That is a great way to end the entire season. And again, it somehow feels like I'll admit, it's almost feels like a series finale instead of a season finale, but honestly, I can't wait to see what they bring up in Rainbow Rocks in Season 5. So, yeah. Overall, best episode, the entire series, somehow tying the opener and Pinkie Pride. It's just really great. Great. 2 thumbs up. 5 out of 5. There's no comparison. This is probably one of Meghan McCartney's best scripts ever. Phew. I'm certainly glad I got all that out of the way. So, I guess we'll see you when Rainbow Rocks comes about.